And we're back. This is everything I got for the month of March 2024. Pretty decent stack. Now that I'm reading pretty much all the Marvel Ultimate books, it's getting a little fat again month per month, but all good reads so far. Nothing stands out as potentially be on the chopping block. Kicking things off, Ultimate Spider-Man number three, sorry. I always put this one on top of my pile because I'm pretty stoked to read it. Something I noticed reading this month to month is each issue actually is a month. I guess a month has passed. Like this one's March. Came out in March. Interesting. Yeah. Huh. Last month was February. Month was January. So Peter's been messing around with Spider-Man for 3 months. He kind of figures out how he wants his costume looks, and he's wearing kind of like a more, I guess it's kind of like a nanomachine suit. I'm not quite sure the tech. It's a tech suit that Tony Stark gave him. Uncle Ben, J. Jonah Jameson, still is trying to start up their own newspaper. They're trying to figure out who this Green Goblin is and why he's going after Fisk. Fisk has hired Bullseye. First appearance, I guess. Maybe that was last month. I can't recall. But yeah, hired Bullseye to track down this goblin. Peter and the goblin take him down. Really interesting part at the end. The Green Goblin hacks Peter's suit. It says some of the tech is prepared. Well, it's all about the tech there. Yeah, he sees his face. They introduce each other. It's Harry Osborn. Whoa. Surprise, surprise. And yeah, Peter's like, I'm Peter. He's Harry. Let's hang out. So that's kind of cool. Still really liking this. Again, it's Jonathan Hickman. Can't complain. He's one of my favorite writers. Moving on, a new Goon story at Dark Horse. For a while, Eric Powell was printing things through his own Albatross Funny books. I haven't seen some from that in a long time. But hey, I guess you get more exposure with Goon. Kind of picking up from the last Goon story where there's this kid who has a duck. Yeah, this guy. He really hates the Goon. He's trying to find ways to take him out. Goon meets this girl. They kind of have a bit of a fling. The weird duck kid is bringing back what looks like the zombie, zombie priest from the original Goon runs. So yeah, things are not looking great for Goon, but them that don't stay dead. So 4 issues. First one's out. Art wise, it's looking really good. It's Eric Powell. He doesn't normally color stuff all the time. I remember seeing him posting online if he was like, do I take my time to do more detailed pencils, or do I try and keep my style but get a little faster with it? So I find this is a little, it's been a while since I've actually read something by Eric Powell. I feel like it's been over a year maybe, but either way, Goon's back, so I can't complain. I love it. Right. Moving on, Gods issue number 6. I think there's only 2 more issues left in this, unfortunately. And the last couple issues have been kind of one-off stories, which are really fun. This one's all about Eiko, who kind of made a deal with this Mia to have Mia become her, I guess you'd say I don't know, apprentice, not ward, yeah, like an apprentice, I guess. But then basically hindered Mia's magical powers by having her join the, what do they call themselves? Those who know? The natural order of things. Yeah, the powers that be are magic. The natural order of things are more science-based. So she's going and meeting all these people to try and get an audience with the Living Tribunal to see if the Tribunal can reverse what happened. But it's a fun little nice one and done story because there's all these questions of as you meet all these, she keeps going through all these checkpoints. She's having to give something up, and what are those? What's that final cost going to be? And it all starts with this guy who's like a wolf. Oh, he looks like a wolf. He's actually some sort of the creature, but he's been helping her the whole night. Just I'm just here to see because this is wild. Nobody just goes and talks to the Living Tribunal. And at the end, he he calls her what he wants, and she ends up losing her eyes. Fun story though. 2 more issues, then it's done. I did read though that Marvel is now, they came out and said if you pitch a book, they'll give you 10 issues if they like it up front, so you have time to do a story. So I kind of like that approach. You might get more really nice kind of one and done stories, which I enjoy, not tied up in continuity. They can do some nice formatting, sell them in bookstores, get pretty comic books. Moving on, Black Hammer, the end, issue 6. This is the end of Black Hammer. Everything comes down to this issue. Every series leading up to this, every mini-series, it's all happening. The Black Hammer family is jumped in what is the real world by the evil Black Hammer. And I guess the good Black Hammer, I'm trying to remember her name, Lucy. Yeah, Lucy gets her hammer back. Her daughter gets a hammer. They defeat the evil Black Hammer, and then they go and fight. All the heroes from the multiverse go to fight. I don't know, the Galactus-like looking dude. I can't remember his name now. Yeah, and then Colonel Weird does the ultimate Colonel Weird thing, and through the Council of Weirds, they combine to basically save the universes, which is kind of wild. And then it just ends. Like, it just, everything has a happy ending. Happy ending-ish. You know, you get little things later on, like, yeah. Kind of leaves it a bit open. I guess they could have, like, more spin-offs, but in terms of, like, where the original Black Hammer series started with Lucy making it to the farm to tell the heroes that that everyone thought they were dead. Yeah, it's been great. It's been 10 years I've been reading this book. I realized it seems wild. Yeah, Black Hammer 2014 to 2024. Dang. I'm pretty sure they're going to start doing some big, they would do a really nice collection of this book, but I highly recommend the Black Hammer. It's been such a fun read. All the spin-offs have been really good. Some are better than others. I'm trying to think of any weak ones off the top of my head. But the other thing is, like, as you read the main book, all those miniseries pay off, just showing, like, kind of introduce those characters before you kind of get to them, and give you some other kind of insight to some other folks. Zorro, Man of the Dead, issue 3. Still really enjoying this fun little book. More Zorro action. I don't know how many issues this is, but I think it's probably maybe 1 or 2 more, if I had to guess. It's kind of building up close to the end. But yeah, it's just a fun book. I think what I like about these kind of stories that Sean Gordon Murphy does, if you kind of compare it to, like, Mark Millar, who clearly writes, like, 6-issue books that could be sold into, like, a series or a movie or something like that, which is fine. I enjoy those. I enjoy those. This is more just, like, meant to be a fun comic book story. That's all. Oh, we do get an origin for the car too, which is kind of cool. But that his sister drives. But again, really fun book. Star Wars Visions, The Ronin and the Droid. So I ordered this. I was not sure if this was a new story or just a reprint of the first Star Wars Visions they did of the samurai. That's based off the Disney Plus cartoon. And the description did not help, because the description was basically this: the Ronin walks his path, slaying Sith with his droid by his side. This is a vision of how their paths first crossed. I was like, whose paths first crossed? So I got it because I, really wanted to read more Takashi Okazaki, and this has been a really fun character. But it's just actually how our Ronin friend and the droid first meet. There's this nice little homage to the opening of Star Wars with a protocol droid and R2 unit there. But yeah, really fun story. The art's obviously really good. I like that, the black and white matches it really well. Only having, like, their lightsabers be red, and you get a nice little story of, like, where the droid came from, like how he was found, and he was raised in this, like, village by who's clearly, like, a Sith, and then the Ronin comes looking for him because he's out to kill Ronin, and they have an epic fight. And all the guy asks is just, like, make sure the droid, keep the droid going. It's the only thing this old man had to remember the village he lived in, and he was trying to, like, relive his life. So yeah, really nice. I hope there's more stuff like this. I'd read more issues, obviously. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Definitely recommend it. Now there's only 2 stories out. Not enough really for a trade, but I wouldn't put it past Marvel trying to do that, really. So Ultimate Black Panther #2. So Spider-Man runs, like, every issue goes up with a month, as I mentioned. This one does not. It just opens up exactly where the last issue started. King T'Chaka has been assassinated. Black Panther is now going to war with Khonshu and Ra, the sun and the moon, who are trying to take Wakanda, so they have full control of Africa. yeah, it's actually, I'm still really liking it. It's pretty fun. There's some cool stuff. There's someone within T'Challa's inner circle that is a spy who's working for Ra and Khonshu. And then at the end, the Black Panther got this vision. He was told, well, he didn't get a vision. He was told a woman in lights will come and help him, and also sire the true king or the hero that Wakanda needs. And then, of course, at the end, he's jumped, lightning strike, the woman made of light, Aurora Monroe, Storm. All right, she showed up in like the first issue, working with white ape, white gorilla, white ape, fighting back the forces of Ra and Khonshu. So yeah, I've got a feeling the person that's portraying is either his sister or his current wife, who is, oh, who's his wife? I'm trying to remember her name right now. He says here somewhere. I'm not going to find it when I need it, but yeah. Transformers number 6. Oh my. This is the last issue that Danny Warren Johnson does art on. It is so good, honestly, start to finish, cover to cover. Devastator's attacking the Autobots, who are already pretty banged up. So they're doing their best to fight. Yeah, you have just like scenes like the Devastator just like grabs Optimus and just starts grinding him up. Like, he's so beat up. They get inside the Ark and everyone's like, we're done. Like, it's only a matter of time before Devastator gets in here. And Optimus is giving out the Matrix, but then Chip's dad basically is like, there's only one way. He literally sacrificed himself. He goes inside the Matrix to repower it, which then fucking supercharges Optimus, who's like, he asks him, like, just make sure, protect my son, protect Earth, tell him I'm proud of him, how proud I am of my son. And then, yeah, Optimus just goes to town. It's pretty awesome. You get this suplex kick off the face of Devastator. Cliffjumper has a chance to kill Starscream, and he doesn't. He's just like, we shouldn't have to do this. Like, we shouldn't have to just keep killing. It's pretty good. It's really interesting. Oh yeah, there's this awesome moment of Devastator. Optimus is going to chase him. He gets to the end of the cliff, and he basically he judo throws Devastator over the side. Oh, it's so insane. I do think Carly got hurt here too. It's like there's a squeeze, maybe, I don't know. Like, if he's grabbing you, I would assume that crushes your legs. But then it doesn't work because Devastator goes crashing down. This is pretty good. Decepticons flee. There's a moment where Optimus talks to Soundwave, like, bro, like, we don't have to do this. Like, we can do this together. And of course, he tries to punch Optimus, and then they go. And then it's over. And then Spike wakes up. I said Chip earlier. I don't know why. Spike wakes up. It's like, where's my dad? Yeah, what a finish to an incredible first arc. Yeah, Mike Spicer stayed on for the colors. The next one is just a new artist picking up. I think they've got his name in the back here. Harvey Losses. Jorge Corona. Or George Corona. The Me You Love in the Dark. That's the Scotty Young book that I read that had him on art. So kind of interesting. I was like, oh, that was more of like a horror story. He's doing this, but sounds good. I'm into it. Moving on. I Hate Fairy Tale 12. Another nice little one and done issue, telling the story of, like, the three goats who cross a bridge, and there's a troll who's underneath, like, oh, don't eat me. My brother's bigger and fatter, and you'll get more. But there's like, no, there's definitely a fourth goat, and it just turns out to be Gert in this costume, which is pretty good. Eats Gert. Gert comes flying out, saves the day, and yeah, they celebrate. And that's the Billy Goat's Gert is the news story, which is pretty fun. Next issue, nice little Conan for Zeta homage there. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, this book's great. Like, I'm curious where, like, it hasn't really had like a main arc for probably like the last 4, maybe 5 issues. But I'm okay with that. I like nice one and done stories are really great. So no complaints there. All right, another Ultimate book, the Ultimate X-Men #1. This is all Peach Momoko, written, drawn. Yeah, everything by her. Clearly, it's armor in Japan. She goes to she goes to a school, Hisako, and she keeps seeing this thing following around who gives her this little charm, and she's like, where did you get this? The charm was from a friend she had who looks like he got bullied or picked on, and then he died, so maybe he took his life. I'm not too sure. It could be her guilt. But then she is attacked by this thing, and yeah, goes full armor, so her powers are manifesting, which is kind of cool. She has to go around and hide because they don't know what happens. Yeah, I'm really digging it so far. I love Peach Momoko is really great. She's a really good artist. And the other X-Men stuff she's doing, kind of that time in the Japanese folklore, was really good. So we'll kind of see where this goes. And she's got a nice little back, I guess the lexicon they call it, but kind of describing some of the Japanese culture things you see within throughout the story, which is a nice little touch. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm sure they'll introduce new X-Men. There's like this tease, this girl with white hair, lightning bolts. It was like, oh, it's going to be Storm, but they already have Storm. But I guess there could be two. Who knows? We never, all good. But another great Ultimate book. Void Rivals, #7. This has been a while, I feel, since I've got an issue of Void Rivals. But our intrepid heroes are now crossing the wastelands, which is like a spot between the two sides of their planet, which is like also in a dying star. And yeah, they're kind of working together, and there's this like scary dude chasing after them. I really actually like this transition where like he's talking. This is the evil leader. It's the evil leader. He knows of what the prophecy, he's trying to stop it. So like, we got to kill them. So he's talking to this guy, and you get this really nice transition of like, oh, okay, why would I do what you think? Oh, because I'm just half a body basically, and I live inside this giant suit, and I'm gonna go kill these people. Very fun. And there's also hints at like what exactly Sola, they said her name on the other page there, but yeah, but she's got something going on as well, so pretty fun. This is tying into the Transformer stuff, but haven't seen any Transformer stuff in a while. Doesn't matter, still really good, still liking it. Yeah, a couple oversized books, just in terms of their size, really. But if you find this, I'm already dead. I really like the first issue. It was a great setup, and then this issue is a banger. It takes place a couple of weeks, maybe a month. She doesn't really know, our main hero, and I say our protagonist, I should say, and she's been living on this alien world, slowly learning the language. She then gets like in with a death cult without realizing it. They put her through this thing, and she wakes up. She realizes the planet they're on is like alive, in a sense, or was alive, and she's like getting this crash course through visions of the history of things. And she's just like, because she's kind of describing the story to us, right? We're reading her journal entries, and she's just like, I can't even find the language to describe the things I'm seeing. But hey, no matter where you go, people will be cruel. There's always slaves, there's always prisons. She ends up in this jail. They're like, oh, we need your help. They get her to sign up, and she's on the run to this prison, and she runs into another human. It's just like, there's a word. They had a word for the thing I was supposed to find. They didn't have a word for. Now I understand why. The word they wanted was human. I don't recognize this guy. He does have like military fatigues on, but I went back and looked at the first issue. Didn't recognize him. But really good book, really good issue. Yeah, curious to see where this one goes. Very much looking forward to it. And then yeah, issue 3 or book 3 of Somna, the bedtime story by Becky Cloonan to us little day. After Ingrid was found, I guess her husband found her what he thought of her being possessed by the devil, because he's a witch hunter. He actually turns her over. Yeah, she gets turned over. She has a few visions of just like going through it, but you just see how basically corrupt this whole system is. Like the preacher from her town basically knows she's innocent and knows all the stuff that's been happening in the background to get Ingrid in this position, and just doesn't care. He's just like, just another woman to kill for the church. Yeah, and then it ends with her getting burned at the stake. She is visited by this dark voice again one last time, whether that's real or not. It's kind of interesting. Like throughout, it's like she could be being possessed. It could just be mental illness. Now that's not something that's new. They clearly had people who are mentally ill throughout time. Um, but yeah, really good book. I really enjoyed that. I was curious if all these books from Distillery would get collected. This was the first one, so I picked it up, and then like, yeah, it's getting a hardcover collection soon. So Distillery has a lot of big talent working at it right now that are doing basically like self-publishing their books through this new company. So there's some stuff I was like, maybe I'll wait and see if they do trades, and they do. So I might hold off. But I think I ordered one more book from them, and then I'll wait and see. I'll wait for trades. I'll trade wait is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna wait to see if I like the books. Like I really like both these creators. If they had a second part of this or they worked on their story, I'll wait for the trade and pick that up. And then the only last other book I got, one trade, Avengers Volume 3, the complete collection. So this collects all of Infinity, issues 1 through 6, and then a bunch of Avengers stuff too. Yeah, 18 through 23. So this is, I want to say, what, probably halfway through Hickman's run, especially with Infinity. That kind of like really, it's not like a sidestep. There a lot of stuff comes out of Infinity, but it's also like was kind of the big summer crossover. So there's some stuff I'm like, I didn't really want to go read all the side things, but works out really good. They trap people. That's great. And then yeah, lots of covers in this one. Mostly because of Infinity, right? I think, yeah, Infinity probably has a ton. Yeah, these are all Infinity covers. Cool. Scotty Young variants. I think this is, yeah, a lot of good. Oh yeah, Infinity was about Thanos' son. Right, right. Now that I remember it, here he is. It's like he can heal and he can kill in a touch, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. Anniversary covers, Lego covers. Man, they did. This was like peak. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't say peak variant covers. They just pump out variant covers, and I'm not sold on them myself. So, but yeah, that's everything for March. Pretty good stack. Lots of good books in here. There's really nothing, like I said, I think is on the cutting block. I stopped reading Thor, so I think that was the only one that I mentioned. I'll probably just pick it up on Marvel Unlimited. All the new X-Men stuff's coming out, but I'm not going all in on X-Men. So just sticking with Ultimates Universe stuff. There is one Marvel book I'm waiting for a trade on. I think there was an ad in it here somewhere, but yeah, that's basically it. As I said, as always, let me know what you think. Send me your jeers, send me your cheers, and I'll see you next month.